Good morning, it's Miss Seeger, and I think you can tell by the video what we are going to study in science. Just watch the video. Let's watch it one more time. And even though I can't hear you, you can say out loud what you think we're going to study. And you guessed it, it's the seasons. So since we're going to study the seasons, I am going to take you out to my garden to show you a few things. So when you were little, you learned that the flowers bloom in spring. I'll show you some of my beautiful flowers. There's a geranium flower. Here are some lilies. This is a beautiful vine called Bleeding Heart. Here are my blueberries. They haven't turned blue yet, but you see all the blueberries in the blueberry patch? The problem is, flowers aren't the only thing that come out in spring. Let me show you one of the caterpillars. Let me see if I can get closer so you can see. These caterpillars want to eat my plant. They're eating all the leaves on my blueberry bush. Now I'm going to have to figure out a way to get rid of them. Here's my little tomato plants. Hopefully I'll get lots of tomatoes, and there's a basil plant in the middle. That's supposed to help get rid of the bugs. So not only do the flowers bloom, but you get lots of bugs when spring opens up. So when you were little, you learned that spring was warmer, spring had flowers, but now that you're in first grade, they want you to learn something new. How are the seasons related to how much daylight there is? And then here's your I can. I can learn that there are more hours of light during spring and summer. So then read the little questions with the kids. These two kids are saying this. Every season has the same amount of daylight. Then listen to these two children. We have to go in early during summer because there's less daylight. Well, is it early? Do you go inside early during summer, or do you go in early in winter? Then these two children are saying, I think fall has the most daylight. And then these two children are saying, in the winter, there is less daylight than the summer. You can play outside as long. Well, I'm not sure if they're right. Let's try to find out. So we're trying to find out when we have the most daylight. Spring, summer, winter, or fall. So let's look at some pictures. Remember we learned that the earth goes around the sun. Well, we live in the northern hemisphere. In the summer, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and that gives us more hours of light and makes us warmer. So I went to the sunrise and sunset calculator, and you can put in your zip code. That's the zip code of our school. And you can see how many hours of sunlight there will be today. So there'll be 12 hours and 22 minutes of sunlight today. But it won't be like that all year long. So I put in one day for each month. And I made a chart. And I will show you the chart. So here we go. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. So if you stand far back and you look at the whole graph, The yellow months are summer. The orange months are fall. The blue represent winter, and the green represents spring. So you can see that there are less hours of sunlight in the winter, and there are more hours of sunlight in the spring and summer months. So when we first met in August, in the beginning of the school year, let's see how many hours of sunlight there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 hours of daylight and some minutes extra in summer. Whereas in the middle of winter, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of sunlight. And then when you see how it goes up? A little bit more in January because winter's coming to an end. A little bit more in February. March, April, and May goes up a little bit. And then June and July are almost steady with May and June. So now we know there is more sunlight in the summer months than there is in the winter months. Now let's just go over our vocabulary for today, and our science video will be done. Daylight, the light energy from the sun. Remember, there's more daylight in the spring and summer than the fall and winter. Patterns. A pattern is something that repeats, and here they're showing you the color of bottles, red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green, but the seasons are also patterns. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. It repeats itself. Season. A season is a period of time that is a certain type of weather. And we never get that cold. If we get snow, we only get a little snow. Sunrise. When the sun first appears above the horizon line. And we've talked about the horizon line before. That's where it appears that the sky meets the sea or land. Sunset. When the sun first disappears below the horizon, when it's going down. Year. The time it takes for Earth to move around the sun. And predict. To say what will happen in the future. Observe. To use the senses to examine or inspect. And describe. To tell about something. And back to daylight. So, can you hear my little dog barking? She wants to come to school today. So, later on I'm going to make the rest of the sight word videos. Have a good day. Goodbye, children.